Greetings in the precious divine name of the Most High's Imperial Majesty, Emperor as said first, Jah Rastafari. You're in tune to Ras-Berry Radio 101.1, the best. Here on the Thoughts from Andrew Show, the Temple of Enlightenment. And I'm Andrew Tafari, your morning host. I'm with you here again this morning, this beautiful Friday morning. The weather seems to be very beautiful outside, and I hope you guys are feeling beautiful inside. Do you know if you're in a healthy relationship or not? Many people enter into relationships and they never really check if the relationship is healthy. In other words, is it healthy for your self-esteem to be with someone? Because I think a lot of people, they just get into a relationship because they're afraid to be by themselves. So they rather to be with somebody and put up with abuse than to be alone. And or somebody comes to them and says, I think you're very beautiful, or I like your ideas, and then they get together and then the abuse starts. So what I'm saying is, before you jump into a relationship with someone, you should really check out what's this person's motive. Why do they want to be with me or be with you? Because some people, they victimize other people. They might see you alone, and then you might be a person that's alone, but you might have a lot of money, and that person might be in need of money. I could be a guy and there could be a woman that's in need of money, and she will see that I'm alone and there's a void for her to fill, and she might not really even love me, and she'll just come up to me and say all the nicest things, how she wants to date me, how much how much she respects me, and wants to be with me. And then when we're together, I find myself spending on her like crazy. So really what she's doing is using the relationship as a way to get to my pocket. Or it could be the other way around. I could be a guy and it could be a girl, and I might be lonely and in need of somebody to do my laundry, cook my food, do all the stuff that I'm supposed to be doing. And I use her for that reason. So those are examples of relationships which aren't healthy. Those are just two examples of relationships which aren't healthy. Because if I'm with a woman and she's only in it for my money, then she doesn't love me. So when the money's gone, what's gonna happen then? Or if I should get old and sick, she's not gonna be there for me. And so that's not good for my self-esteem. And then that's gonna make people laugh at me, because then that means she's using me. You know what I'm saying? Or if it's the other way around and she's doing my laundry and all these things, it'll be the same situation, right? So those are not healthy relationships. And then there's other people who they look for people to take out their frustration on. People who, there are people who walk around with anger, a lot of pent up anger. And what they do basically is, they've been through trauma, they have been through abuse, they have lost loved ones, pain, things that cause them pain. And they instead of learning how to find positive ways to extract the pain, because we all have to extract the pain, right? We have to extract the things that bother us, or it will send us crazy. So what they basically do is they find somebody who appears to be weaker than them, and they get in a relationship, and then when the relationship starts, they get violent, they get abusive, stuff like, you're a damn liar, you're ugly, why are you so fat, why don't you look like this person? And when really it's the problem is with them. But what they're doing is transferring the pain onto the other person, and that's not healthy for the other person, because then that person, no, they don't understand why these things are happening, why the abuse is happening, and then they start to think that something is actually wrong with them, which that's unhealthy. And then the same cycle starts again. Then they think that that's healthy behavior, and they start doing it to someone else, right? So those are unhealthy relationships, and unhealthy relationships, they affect everyone. They affect the whole community, because if two people get in a relationship, which it always starts out nice, there's always the honeymoon phase, and then once the abuse starts, they might have by that time they might have some children, and then those children witness mommy and daddy fighting 24/7, living together, fighting. That's not healthy for a child. You know what I'm saying? That's not a healthy environment for a child to grow up in, because that child is going to grow up thinking that that's that's normal, and then they're going to go to school, and that child is going to start beating up other children, and then it affects the whole community. So um unhealthy, you have to before getting into a relationship, you have to really think, what is the motive of why does this person want to be in a relationship? Because let's face it, once you're in a relationship with somebody, you have to open up yourself. When you're an individual, you can close yourself off and you can be yourself, and you know but once you're in a relationship with someone, you're no longer individual. You and that person become one. So you're everything. You're making yourself open to being abused, robbed, attacked, and even enslaved. There's guys who they are women also. There's people who they will there's people who will set you up in many ways, and then you become captured, right? Like, a woman might go to a third world country. A lot of women do this. A lot of women do this. It's not just guys who go and traffic women, right? There's women who go to third world countries or places where they know that a guy wants to get out of that environment. They get the guy a passport, get into a relationship. This is an unhealthy relationship. They get the guy a passport. They get them in. They tell them how wonderful it is in the so-called first world, or I don't know, the better world, whatever they call it. And they bring them here, and then the person, they only to realize that they just brought them here and got into a relationship just to turn them into their yard boy, their home boy. You know what I'm saying? And so this is why I'm saying you have to really check, why do they want to be in a relationship with me? Because personally, if I'm going to be in a relationship with a woman, she has to really love me. You know what I'm saying? She can't love me for what I have. She can't love me because she can use me. She can't love me because of my family. She can't love me because of my talent. She have to love me for me. And when I mean this, my flesh, she have to love me. You know what I'm saying? And prove that love to me. You know what I'm saying? So before you jump into a relationship with somebody, let them prove the love to you. You know what I'm saying? Let them prove themselves. Let them prove that they're worthy of you, because it makes no sense to be with somebody who is not worthy of your love. You know what I mean? If you're not gonna make me a better person, because in reality, if I'm in a relationship with someone, for it to be a healthy relationship, you have when I'm if I'm down and I'm in a situation and you're not helping me and stuff, then you don't really love me. You know what I'm saying? If you're in a relationship, the best way to know if somebody loves you for real, if you're in a relationship and you're in a tough situation and the person is not there for you. It can be a simple thing like, you know, the person might have a cut on a certain part of their body that they can't dress. You know what I'm saying? Dress the wound. No, if I'm in a relationship and you scorn me, or I scorn you, then there's no love there. Because if you don't scorn things that you love, and you don't try to destroy things that you love. You know what I'm saying? So if you love someone, you wouldn't scorn them and you wouldn't destroy them. You know what I'm saying? And then also too, um, it's also worthy to note that being in a relationship. I'm not saying that if you're in a relationship with somebody because they see someone else or they make a mistake, I'm not saying that means that they don't love you, but that's just a sign that no one. Which is why if you look at the world, relationships have changed. You know what I'm saying? The relationships have changed because we're talking about, if you're in a healthy relationship, but relationships on a whole. Relationships have changed. If you look at the way relationships are today versus, our grandparents. In our grandparents' time, when two people were together, if cheating happened in the relationship, everything was covered up. It was more of a pretend world. So it's like, I know that the cheating is happening, but I don't say anything about it. And because we've decided that we're together, so Even if we cutting each other's throat and doing the worst, we stick to each other and pretend. It was a pretend world. But in today's world, you have a lot more open relationships. So two people will be together, and that this person will be seeing someone else, and they will know, but they'll still be together. You know what I'm saying? Or even more than that, people switch partners. You know what I'm saying? They call it swinger relationships. So it just shows how times have evolved. You know what I mean? You have people who they might have like three baby mothers. You know what I'm saying? And a wife. You know what I'm saying? And that and today it's not shameful. But back in the day it was, which is why our parents, they expect people to get married, they expect people to put on the ring, and you know that's to them that's normal. But times have changed. Times have changed. This is what I'm talking about when I'm saying evolve. People need to evolve. Times have changed. You know what I'm saying? It's not like in those times where you have to be married to have kids. I mean, there's people right now in this world who are together and they have kids and they're not even married, like through a church. Because what does putting a ring on your finger, a ring in your nose? What does that mean? That doesn't mean anything. You know what I'm saying? And that just allows you to be further trapped, in my opinion. I'm not saying that my opinion is right. You know what I'm saying? But when you if a relationship is real, why do you have to put on a ring to show that the relationship is real? You know what I'm saying? That I don't need a ring to show that. You know what I'm saying? And if I'm in a relationship with someone, or if you're in a relationship with someone, and you're out there in the world and the person, they don't check on you, they're not there for you, but then they're saying that they love you. You have to really check why is this person, it must be a reason why they want to, it must use they're using you. You know what I'm saying? And if I'm in that situation, I'm not gonna sit down and wait for the other person, because at the same time we all need love. You know what I'm saying? We all need love and we all need someone to be with. But at the same time, like I said, it has to be a healthy situation, because being with someone and being abused and being used and being robbed and taken advantage of, you know what I'm saying? Because you know you might be with the person, and you might be around the person, but you might be in the place where the person lives and they have all their family there, and you might not have a defense to defend yourself. So that's not healthy either. That's worse than being by yourself. You know what I'm saying? Because really and truly, you're never alone. You know what I mean? A lot of people, they're so afraid of their own self. You're never alone. You know what I'm saying? You're never alone, because even if you live by yourself, you're never really alone, because you can have a relationship with Jah. You know what I'm saying? And you can have friends. You know what I'm saying? But the most important thing is, even in a relationship with friends too, you have to be careful of this friend thing and this clicking up thing. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes I'm not saying that I'm not by no way saying that um I'm more like if you're in a relationship or you have a friend, because a friendship is a relationship as well, right? It's just a different type of relationship, right? I'm not saying that if you're with somebody and they come to you and say, all right, can you give me a link to get to here, because they have a dream or a drive or a goal or a desire to reach somewhere, and then they can, I guess you would say, they use you to get there. I'm not saying that that's a bad motive, because we all need that. You know what I'm saying? We all need somebody to help us to get from point A to point B. You know what I mean? So I'm not saying that that's bad. All I'm saying is that if the person is doing it out of from a malicious place, you know what I mean? If they're doing it, if there's a group of people that dislike me, and then they say, okay, the best way we can get him now is because if he's in a relationship, he's most vulnerable right there, then all we have to do is tell this girl to go and be in a relationship with him, and then anytime we want to beat him, we can just instruct her to attack him. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying about your relationships, and I learned this the hard way. You know what I'm saying? I learned that the hard way. So all I'm saying is, check if you're in a healthy relationship. You know what I'm saying? And even if you have kids with someone, because there's many ways you can raise your child or raise your kids. If it happened that you were in a relationship with someone and you were having sex, and the person, the girl, the woman got pregnant, and then by that time it was too late. You kind of have a child together. You kind of have to work together, but at the same time, there's abuse in the relationship. There's, negativity. You guys are cutting each other and stuff. Then the best thing to do is you live your life, she lives her life, and you raise your kids. You know what I mean? You see your child on the weekend, you know what I mean? Or I don't like to say weekend because I don't deal with week and I don't deal with end. So on the strong beginning, you know what I'm saying? You can see your child and you raise your child, and in that way people might say, oh, but a child needs the two parents to be around. It is better for the child to just grow up and not see the two parents keep fighting each other, or worse, one end up killing. Because if sometime when people are in a relationship where they really hate each other because they got into it for ulterior motives, sometimes that leads to murder. When you hear about a woman poisoning a man, it's because she never really loved the guy. You know what I'm saying? But maybe he's not getting it, that she wants him to move on, or you know what I'm saying, or she's robbed him enough. And then she just end up poisoning him. Or when you say a guy murder a woman because he has a mistress on the side. That's what I'm saying about that's what unhealthy relationships. Those are the consequences. You know what I mean? And then that impacts everybody. You know what I'm saying? So all I'm saying is, today is Friday. A lot of people, today is the day when they meet up with their significant other, and a lot of people are in a relationship where they're wondering if they should get out of the relationship. Some people are thinking about getting in relationships. All I'm saying is, before you get into any relationship, and not just personal relationships, but it can be a business relationship as well. You know what I'm saying? Somebody might somebody might come to you and say, okay, let's start a business, and you have a business partner. You have to check that as well too, because that person might be lacking in a department. You know what I'm saying? Let's say it's a business where I'm a host, and you want to hire, and it's a business where people can hire me to come and, right, and I have a manager, right, or a person, a female that manages me. You know what I'm saying? Or something like that. And that person, they would like to be a host, but they're lacking in that. They could just use me. That's what used to happen in the old days with artists. You know what I'm saying? The record company, the record label, and the managers would use the artists. You know what I'm saying? Use the artists and take all of the money. You know what I'm saying? But they would pretend, they would nice the artist up by giving them a nice car. That's what I'm saying, like the fake relationship, creating an idea in the artist head that there's a good relationship, that I can depend on you. And then once the money's made, it's like there was nothing there. You know what I'm saying? They just disappear with the money like nothing was there. So that's what I'm saying. Those are unhealthy relationships. And then that now, many people get destroyed by that. A lot of people, after that happens to them, they go to pieces. But I want to tell you that if that has happened to you, or if that's happening to you, no, don't go to pieces about it. You know what I'm saying? Never never think that because you went through something like that, or because you're going through something like that, or you just woke up to that reality. Don't feel like it's the end of the world, like you must lose yourself now and start cut yourself and take drugs. That no, just see it as, everything. I always say everything that happens to me is an experience, and I went through it to learn. And once I realized that, then it doesn't really have any effect on me, because then now I realize that for the future. Because what happens is that what I've realized in life is that we go through experiences. Life is like a teacher. We go through experiences, then that's like the classroom where we learn, and then the experience passes, and then it comes back up again, and that's the test. Just like in the class, or the teacher would give you a test, and then once you get the test, you're supposed to then learn from in the class. So once you pass the test now, then it never happens to you again, because then life say, okay, you learn. You see what I'm saying? So just see everything as a chance to learn. You know what I mean? And just like I'm doing now by departing this knowledge to you, to remind you, to make sure relationships are a beautiful thing. I'm not saying that people shouldn't be in a relationship. I would love to be in a relationship, but I want to be in a relationship with somebody that's going to love me, not somebody that's going to use me or put me down or backstab me. You know what I'm saying? If you love me, why would you stab me in the back? You know what I'm saying? Why would you try to shoot me? Why would you try to cut me? Why would you go and join my worst enemy to try to put me down? You know what I mean? Why would you do that? That means that you don't love me, and I'm not gonna put myself in a situation with someone like that. You know what I'm saying? You have to really be to be with me. You have to really show me that you love me. Because like I said, I've learned the difference between a healthy relationship and an unhealthy relationship. And it's nice to be in a relationship, but it's nicer to be in a good and a proper and a loving and a healthy relationship. That's the type. If I'm gonna be in a relationship, it has to be that type of relationship. It's just like sex. Like it's nice to have sex, you know what I'm saying? But I'm not just gonna go have sex with anybody. You know what I'm saying? Because people have all kind of bacteria and disease which can destroy me and destroy my health. So it's just the same for my self-esteem. My self-esteem is just like my body, just like my spirit. It all has to be healthy for me to function properly. You know what I'm saying? So enjoy your Friday. Have a good weekend. Or not a weekend, because remember, I don't deal with week and I don't deal with end. Strong beginning. And also, remember, life is no competition. There is no competition. I'm not in a competition with no one, nobody at all. You know what I'm saying? Life is a mission, so focus on your mission. And Rastafari bless, Ras-Berry Radio 101.1 the best. Andrew Tafari, thoughts from Andrew, the Temple of Enlightenment. In full joy, a strong beginning. Rastafari live.